What's happening, everyone? James Lynch here. Karate Combat had an event last night, and one of the things that everyone is talking about is the stoppage in the Sam Alvey fight, which was a heavyweight. We're going to watch this entire sequence here. This is one of the worst ref stoppages I've seen in a long time. Let's check this out, courtesy of Championship Rounds, and then we'll show you some reactions all over social media after the fact. So here's the call, my good buddy, Robin Black.
Oh, there! Speaking of weird and different, that is a dirty right hand down the pipe, and Sam is hurt bad. The Cuban.
All right, so you think their fight's over, right? Nope, it's not over.
Sam Alvey is frowning, and it looks like
he's
done.
out. You can see it right there.
He has no idea where he is. Yeah, he's done. He says he's okay, but all that, I don't like the looks of this at all. To Spain, stalks his prey, head kick, Alvey's down. Oh. To Spain. Stop the fight.
One,
ground
two.
and pound. And again, Alvey beckoned back to the feet, but his brain is on Mars right now. I'm not sure what the referee is needing to see.
Yeah.
Jesus. Robellis to Spain turned him into a ghost. What a killing.
So you can see there, Spain taking him out, but this fight, I mean, we can kind of go through it frame by frame here. So right after this first knockdown, referee steps in, and I would have been okay with this. I mean, it might have been a little bit early there because he gets knocked down, but you can clearly see in the replay here, like that's a pretty hard punch. Nice ground and pound. That could have been stopped right there, realistically. Now, if we go a bit further, this is the problem. Alvey's getting up. The referee is talking to Despain, and he's not seeing that Alvey's like on, you know, on wobbly legs, right? Like he's out basically, right? Watch how Alvey walks here. Keep an eye on this part of the screen. Here, I'll mute this so it doesn't distract everyone. But yeah, so you can see he's down. Even the referee can see, like, look, like he's not in good spirits here, right? So if we look a bit further, okay, referee goes over to him. This is where you got to check the fighter's, like, you know, well-being right here. He doesn't really do this. Of course, Alvey's going to say he wants to go. That's Sam Alvey. Guy's been fighting forever. Okay? He's like, I'm okay. Referee's like, okay, let's continue. All right? And you can just see his face, like he's done. Okay? Now the kick happens, gets kicked there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, even here, stop the fight. I know Alvey's going for the takedown, but we've seen this in the UFC where, you know, just off instinct, you go for the takedown. But he's out there. He took a bunch of unnecessary shots. And then obviously the kill shot here, the ref's like, no, get up. It's all good. Even though, like, clearly he's out. Not out, but he's definitely wobbly right now. And just look at his body language. Hands down, boom, gets kicked and knocked out. That didn't need to happen. That was a very bad stoppage here, very late. Also, this event, I don't know if you guys heard on social media last night, I guess there was an issue with getting the pit there on time. So this event was actually delayed. I think it was 3 or 4 hours. So I feel bad for anyone who's revolving their Friday night around this Karate Combat event. So yeah, a lot of not so great things going on with that knockout. We got another angle of this as well if we have a look, which isn't going to be any better, right? That's the first kick, and you can just see those shots land. Despain really does hit hard. I mean, this was a guy that used to be in the UFC at heavyweight. Remember, Alvey's fought as light as welterweight, right? But he's been fighting heavyweight lately. Doesn't have to worry about cutting weight or anything like that. And then, yeah, there's the big one there. Just a tough loss there for Alvey, who's 39 years old. Ariel Helwani chiming in on this whole thing, saying awful refereeing, shocking, really. Totally agree. Again, I know a lot of people are not a fan of Ariel Helwani for a variety of different reasons, but he's 100% right here. That was a bad ref stoppage, in my opinion. So, yeah, again, a lot of people agreeing here. So bad. Referee and judges need to start being held accountable by the Athletic Commission. Completely agree. Completely agree. What if there's some serious long-term damage here to Alvey? Again, I know you signed the waiver and you're supposed to go in, but the ref's job is to protect you and step in when there's a stoppage, and that's not what happened here. I often argue combat sports aren't that dangerous. Referee failed the fighter here. I agree. The ref missed the first straight right in the head kick. Yeah, refs got to pay attention more. Awful cornering. Got to throw in the towel. That's a good point, too, from MMA Me's. Totally agree with them here. People complaining about Mark Goddard making an early stoppage. Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I think also with older fighters, like, you need to take a bit more of a, you know, like a guy in Alvey's case, like, early stoppage is probably fine, right? If you think about it, if it's an older fighter. If it's like a young 20-year-old taking some damage, understandable. But, yeah, a lot of people saying here early stoppage. Someone with the gif here saying finish him. I don't know who the referee is in this spot, but I think he's going to get a lot of blowback from this. People will find, you know, the internet, you know, they can be very crafty and find out who this guy is. But yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is one of the worst stoppages I've seen in a while, right? And if you look at some of the quote tweets, I think people are agreeing here too. Criminal behavior from this ref. At what point does negligent refereeing in combat sports become accountable under the law? That's totally true. This could be a big story, guys. Again, karate combat doesn't get like a ton of coverage, but this is something that will certainly, take notice. The referee should lose their license, be barred from ever doing it again, or at least, again, there's the people being smart saying early stoppage. But listen, if Alvey has brain damage or something seriously bad from this, I don't think people are going to be joking, right? So ref wanted to see a dead body. And you look at Alvey, he's actually had some success since leaving the UFC. If you remember, he had that like famous, what was it, like 6 fight or 7 fight, like losing streak. I know there was like a draw in between there. But since then, he's actually done all right fighting subpar opposition. But this is one that's certainly going to probably make him take a little bit of time off. And you look at the amount of fights he's had just across the board in combat sports, 34, 18, 1-1. And I don't even think that's including the karate fights either. So he's had an extensive career. Alvey made his debut way back in 2007. That was when his amateur career happened. So he's been in there for a while. Thankfully, he has not been taking punishment like this, since the UFC. He's actually been winning a lot of his fights, but this is one that could definitely, and like I said, this is going to get a lot of attention. So I do wonder if what's going on with the ref in this one, right? F an idiot, fire this ref. I can't see why anyone would be mad at Robulis. I mean, I don't blame Robulis either. It's the ref's fault. If the ref tells you to continue, you got to continue. We've seen a handful of fights that you think are over, and the fighter thinks the fight's over, and then they're not paying attention, then they themselves get finished, right? Didn't that kind of happen with Jalen Turner when he fought, I think it was Moicano, where he thought the fight was over, and he started kind of thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to put my hand up, and then the fight wasn't over. So I don't blame Desmanet at all in this spot. It's the referee who needs to be blamed here. So that's kind of how I'm looking here. Again, you got all the smart asses saying early stoppage. Like, yeah, boy, super edgy joke there, dude. Like, come on. I don't know. I part of it is I know Sam Alvey. I've interviewed him a number of times. He's a really good dude. I just hate to see him take punishment like this, especially when it's the referee's job to protect the fighter, right? Ref did. Yeah, and then of course the gif here, the Drago gif. So yeah, this is getting a lot of attention, and I think the fact that Ariel pointed this out, that's going to get even more attention. What's the video up to right now? So this is 197,000 views, and then the actual, that's just the actual video, and then what's Ariel's? Ariel's at an additional 156K views. So we'll see if anything comes out of this. We'll see if Karate Combat says anything. Again, this is the commission. This isn't Karate Combat, but there needs to be accountability, man. This is an issue across the board, I think, in combat sports where referees, judges, all, if they do something wrong or make a mistake or something happens, there's like no accountability, like hardly ever. And it's something that I'd like to see addressed a little bit more when it comes to how they're managing things going forward. So yeah, terrible stoppage there in Karate Combat. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How bad was the stoppage? What do you think should happen to the ref? What do you think should, I think Alvey's got to take some time off after this. Let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.